It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome to the Scene Snobs Podcast.
A slate person on set is never that happy.
Oh, come on. They've got to be.
Never that. No, of course they're happy. They're on a film set.
Yeah. Following their dreams, man.
You know, you may have seen us in between. I think at this point, we should just show all the commercials for the shows on the Scene Snobs and Mystery Science Theater 3000.
I like it. I'm in.
We should do that from now on.
Absolutely. What a great way to promote every one of those awesome shows.
Exactly, by making fun of them and making sure everybody knows.
Whoa. We don't make fun of them. I think it's more of like a mocking thing, okay? Mocking is a safer way to say it.
Satire.
Well, we don't mean it. Everybody. We love you.
It's Tuesday night, and we're here. It is the Scene Snobs Podcast. I'm your host, Mick Manhattan, the Scene Snob, and of course I'm joined, as always, by Casey Platt, the man.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on this lovely evening. Happy to be here, as always, with my compatriot, my compadre, my friend among friends, the mighty Mick Manhattan.
Well, thank you. I want to say we've been celebrating Women's History Month all month. Every episode, we've been shining a light on a different woman that works in the film industry.
Yes.
And tonight is an even more special night because we have one of the best in the film industry joining us. Someone who a light doesn't need to be shined on by the Scene Snobs, trust me, because it's not a very bright light. But
yeah, no, she does her own shining, man. She's going to add shine to us. That's what's
that's unfortunately we're trying to shine a light on women in film, and we're stealing some thunder on this one. Sorry, but we are going to bring her on in just a second. She is a producer of great renown. As many of you know, I started out in the film industry. I was a producer working my way up. I got to tell you, if I had the chance, I wish I was at least a quarter of the producer that this woman is. She is truly fantastic, and she is a good friend of ours, Mrs. Stacey Toy.
Hi, Stacey.
Welcome.
Hey, that was the best introduction ever. You make me sound so much cooler than I really am.
No, it's 100% because of how awesome you are. That's what that is.
The only light that's shining is my ring lights, which you can see in my glasses.
That's strong. I dig it.
Casey does the same thing. He just bought one, and he had to cock to the side a little bit so that way it wouldn't hit his glasses.
Yeah, so you could actually see my eyes as opposed to the screen and everything. It's terrible.
Well, Stacey, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me on. I'm so excited. Finally.
Of course. And, you're coming off of a pretty huge interview yourself tonight, correct?
No, that's tomorrow. Remember?
Oh, wait. Did I get my days mixed up? Because I know I missed it because I had to go and do something else. But now I did miss it because it's tomorrow.
It's tomorrow, yes. From your show to the Jimmy Star show with Ron Russell tomorrow.
Boy, that is an upgrade.
Well, no, I knew their show is tomorrow. I meant the Paul White interview.
Oh, Paul White interview is on Sunday, so tickets are still available for that on fanroomlive.com. Woo!
Nice.
That's the
good
greatest
pitch.
That is the greatest information I've ever gotten because I finally didn't miss something because I was doing this.
That's right. There you go.
I always miss stuff, but I'm so glad that I didn't miss either of them. I saw you were going to be on Jimmy. Jimmy, of course, Jimmy and Ron are, of course, friends of the show. We hope to be them one day.
Yeah, that's the goal.
We do. Are you kidding? And Eileen Shapiro, too. She's amazing. All of them. Their whole team is just yes, they're on point. Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Definitely. And, you're on here and, we want to talk to you about not just your producing. I want to talk about everything you're doing. You have some big projects going on.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of weird. Everybody always is asked, they always thought I was crazy because my ADHD, I have ADHD. But I don't take my Adderall really. I just kind of harness it and it becomes a superpower. So it's I need to have all these hot pokers in the fire. Because if I was a 9-to-5 person, I think I couldn't do it. I would just be miserable. So that's why I ultimately, even after my husband passed away and I was a single widowed mom of 2, I was 29 years old and I had a full-time job and, directing America's highest rated local newscast in the country. And I just decided to quit my job and I walked away from financial freedom and basically was like, I'm doing this. I'm trying it because I can't just, you have to be the example. You can't just tell people like, oh, do as I say, not as I do. And so I wanted my kids to see that, yeah, I'm a little bit crazy, but at the end of the day, I didn't care if I was working, as a waitress or cleaning floors or whatever. I just figured I'd fear regret more than anything else. So,
Oh, yeah. And you know what? You've been a huge inspiration to me with your story because I did the same thing. I left the job behind to, be there full time for my kids and start the Scene Snobs. And, it's wonderful to see stories like yours that are so inspiring to me.
Thank you so much. And thank God it worked out because if it wouldn't, it really would have sucked. You know what I mean?
It's true. That is very true.
Well, it would have been a swing and a miss, huh?
I didn't think of it that way.
There was a lot of misses. So.
But you got to keep swinging.
That's right.
You got to do that. Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about what's going on with you now. What are you getting into? I know you got your movie 100 Acres of Hell. It's coming out soon, right?
Oh, it's out already. It's on Amazon, excuse me, and like Vudu, Google Play, iTunes. It's like there's about like 30 platforms or so. So that's really cool. You can check that out. And we finally got funding for my film that's based off of my story. And I'm super excited about it. We have some, big studios and stuff looking at it and some big people who are going to be writing it, big names and stuff. And I can't wait to go into more detail about that. But for right now, the whole point is the LLC started, the money's in the bank, people are getting paid, and it's moving. So that is huge to me just because my whole life story is just essentially based off of the fact that I was a drug addict going to Oxford University, the best school in the world, and I was taking 70 to 100 Vicodin a day, and it gave me energy, and I was able to focus because I was on the dean's list. So I was a drug addict on the dean's list. But this was 18 years ago, and it was pre-opioid epidemic. And so I ended up getting myself back together thanks to my father and my mother with their inspiration and, just kind of planting the seeds of having a positive attitude and the can-do attitude and don't quit. And then ultimately, when my husband came home from the Navy, he was dealing with some PTSD and depression. And ultimately, he passed away from heroin overdose, an accidental heroin overdose when we were both 28 years old. And I wanted to make something good come from something bad because I had been in that position before and it bothered me because I couldn't fix it this time. So I wanted to do something that would maybe try and fix things. And so I went and I spoke to the person who shot my husband up and essentially killed him. And I said that I would forgive him if he became the husband to his wife and the father to his two sons that mine could no longer be. And so it was an emotional time, but at the end of the day, at the end of this year, my husband's gone 10 years, but this man, Nick is his name. He's now clean for 10 years. He was shooting 50 plus bags a day of heroin at that time when I met with him. He's got his kids, his family back. He's got his own company. He's doing wonderful. And him and I are now the only ones left alive in the whole story because everyone else died of addiction. So it's like, that's the story that I want to tell. It's about perspective. It's about, I know everybody's pissed about this whole thing and everybody has somebody that they're dealing with addiction, depression, anxiety, like suicide, all of these kinds of things. And it's like, we could be mad all day, but we have to learn how we can fix it because we're not fixing it. So
right. Exactly. And that's a fantastic story.
It's like, if you change your perception, you change the reaction. So that's my whole goal. I don't want to be the star or any of that bullshit, but I just know that this isn't an easy thing. And there's not not many people go through being a huge drug addict to being honored at Parliament. You know what I mean? So it's like, if somebody could show you that it can be done, then now more people might see that it can be. And if you lose somebody, how can you maybe save somebody else? I mean, that's the goal. So.
And Stacey, you being so outspoken about it too, on coming on, shows like this and others, I've heard you on and telling your story. Especially at a time after 2020 and everything that was going on, all the isolation, especially that addicts had to go through. It's true. Honestly, inspiring is not even the right word. Like, it's incredible what you're doing. And
thanks. I mean, I literally almost died to have it happen. So, you got to do something. And I mean, people look at me because Facebook wasn't around and they're like, oh, you weren't that bad. And I mean, it literally has been 18 years at the end of this year. So it takes a long time sometimes, but at the end of the day, when I look back, it's like in the blink of an eye, everything happened. And I'm like, holy crap. Like, I can't even believe I'm here myself sometimes. And we're going, but you got to keep that positive attitude or you lose everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And, kind of changing gears, where you went from, like you said, the financial freedom of, directing this huge news show and then moving on and wanting to do something, your dream, essentially, like having that freedom to do what you wanted to do. I know that's stressful, and on a smaller scale, I kind of understand. But so the stresses that came with it, I just got to ask, what pushed you the most during that time? What was your biggest, motivation?
Ultimately, I always like to learn. I want to know how things work. So at the news station, when I was working at the 2012 London Olympics over in London at CNN, they were transitioning everybody was getting ready for the HD transition. And they were turning into automation systems, which is, essentially, bringing the control rooms from 12 people down to 2 because it's just a push of a button now. So I saw it happening over in London and I was involved a little bit and I was watching and I was asking questions how it worked. And then in 2014, at our news station, we started doing the transitions and they had the guy who invented the whole automation system come to each station and train everybody. And I used to ask him at least 1 or 2 questions every single week, just because I figured if I knew how it works, they'd keep me on the job. So ultimately he picked me and 2 other people to troubleshoot and perfect the automation systems across the entire United States. And so I'm like, I just perfected and built my replacement. I saw the writing on the wall and I'm like, well, I guess now's the time to jump because I didn't want them to get rid of me in 10 years and then maybe with everybody else scrambling around or however it is. But that was about 6 or 7 years ago now. And now I have a few people that I used to work with that are coming to me for work. And the ones that used to tell me I was crazy. And so, I mean, the time's short. Not that that matters because it's not that what matters. But, it's just – you got to start to see the writing on the wall. I mean, technology and everything changes and everybody's replaceable. So I figured why not just make my own job and make myself the boss who signs the checks and then I can't be replaced.
Exactly. Yes, definitely. And, that's what I wanted to do here to make sure that, he worked for me and that I could crush his spirits underneath my foot rather than watch him get his spirits crushed under somebody else's.
Yeah, because we worked together. So he was working with me at one point, almost under me. So, turnabout being fair play. That's why he makes me always drink coffee.
I left the job working under him.
That's great though. But that's the thing though, is you got to keep that hustle too. Like you can't, it's not like, oh, I work for myself and I could just sleep in all the time. Like we're not there yet, and I don't have that in me. I just can't, I'm not one of those, I applaud stay-at-home moms, but like that devil and idle hands thing, like I was a drug addict. Come on, I got to keep moving. So. Oh
yeah. And I wish I knew what sleep was.
Oh, me too. Me too.
I can tell.
When I finally do sleep, I usually sleep cook in the middle of the night because I did it not too long ago, and I woke up and I went to go get a thing for my teacup, and I found my hot sauce in the cabinet, and I'm right next to everything, and I'm like, oh no! And I look over, my keys are not where they're meant to be, and well, I'm not hurting anybody. It's not like I went driving. I just made a little ravioli, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you just created a cool little experience of finding some stuff where it wasn't supposed to be. It's like a little treasure hunt in your own home. It's great.
It's like meal prep.
Yeah.
My favorite is when a show will end and I'll be, messaging one of the hosts on the Scene Snobs from another show, and I'll be like, hey, can you send me this? I need it for tomorrow. And then it's 2 a.m. and I'm just like, hey, can you send me or send it to somebody on? They're just like, what are you doing awake? You just messaged me and then somebody else joins in and it's just like, you messaged me 10 minutes ago. Why aren't you sleeping? I'm like, because that's not what gets success.
That's right. I'll sleep when I'm dead.
Exactly. And you know what, I'm a night owl anyway. But we welcome you to the show. We're a little bit absurd here from time to time. We try to be good. We do.
My people, I love it.
No, absurd is way more fun. That's all we want. We only got one shot on this earth, so let's make it fun.
That's right.
I didn't say fun. I said absurd. Nobody wants it but us. We just enjoy it.
It is for us, though.
We just have some amazing fans on. Jason Taylor says, I miss Casey's.
Cut it out. Come on, Jason.
Yeah, Jason.
Ron Lippett says, you guys are like my number 7 and 8 favorite people ever. Top 10, not bad.
Wow, Ron, we cracked top 10. That's a big deal.
Simon Jeff Wolfskin is like top 12. So, I mean, that's pretty good.
Pick.
And he's on his show. Stacey is an awesome person. We know that. Shut up, Jason.
That's why she's here. We're learning how awesome she is.
I met Jason. He's amazing.
He is an amazing guy. Ron says, unbelievable story. Perspective is everything. Yes, 100%. She inspires me daily. And Heather wants to know what sleep is, too. We don't know, Heather.
Good. Maybe some doctors can weigh in and let us know.
I can give you all a dissertation, actually, on what sleep is, because I make sure to get 7 hours a day. Every 2 days.
In 2 days, yeah. Well, you were just on my old stomping grounds of Jersey.
Oh yeah,
and you're that's your area. You know everybody up there. And you went to the new opening of the Secret Stash, right?
Yes, I did. I was excited. Well, I went to Jersey, and obviously Ernie O'Donnell is my business partner, and he's one of my best friends in the whole world. And I love all of the comic book men, Mike Zapsik and Ming Chen and Brian Johnson and everybody has just become such an amazing family member, I guess, to me. Marilyn Gigliotti, Veronica from Clerks is my roommate in Los Angeles. So I mean, everybody, we're all intertwined, but I went for my birthday in August last year because I turned 37, and anybody who's a Clerks fan knows don't suck 37 dicks on your way to the parking lot. So 37, and it's my roommate. She's the 37 queen. So I went to Jersey, and I was with those guys all day. So I actually knew about the new location, and I saw it right in the beginning when it was all gutted, and I couldn't tell anybody about it. And I was kind of hinting about it a little bit on a few of my podcasts last year that I was interviewed on. So it was just so exciting because Ernie did all of the work in that. Now, Ernie's done a lot of work at Hard Rock Cafes and things like that for memorabilia. And he's so creative when it comes to that. So this entire stash, Kevin just said, okay, Ernie, whatever you want to do, just do it. And so it's all Ernie's creative. So I was so proud to see him. And then obviously we got to talk to Kevin because we're doing some business. And so, it was just nice. It was really nice. So, and that's where I met Jason and the Three Geeks podcast. They're all amazing.
I will say this, for anybody who doesn't know who Ernie O'Donnell is, he is Rick Darris, the coolest guy in New Jersey. Hands down. So it's awesome to hear that you guys are working together and that you got, all the work that he put into the new Secret Stash. So, it's that connected feel to it. It's going to be done right. It's kept in Jersey. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Every little niche, and they pulled so much stuff out of storage. And you get right up close and personal with Tusk, which is gross, and I love it. But Mike Zapsik and his wife, Julia, who I love, and when they come to the Poconos on vacation, we always meet up for our families for dinner and all that stuff. But they got remarried and renewed their vows and stuff 2 weeks ago, right in front of Buddy Christ. So there's nothing better.
Oh, that's the best way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I really enjoy about it too is I saw the pictures. Three Geeks went crazy, and they did, it was just an amazing time. But they got to meet Kevin Smith, and now the reason they got to meet Kevin Smith, and I'm going to tell the story before they actually do, is because our good buddy John Orlando was dressed like the mayor of Jaws. That's how you meet people in this industry. You've got to stand out, and you got to
just absurd random characters. Is that it? That's the key.
Not absurd. A perfectly fine mayor who just wanted to keep the beaches open.
He was a terrible mayor.
Oh, sorry.
He didn't worry about anybody.
He was
worried about money.
He got reelected. We already told him. Oh, shut up. Fine, whatever. Tell your stories. Tell your stories on your show.
Oh, Mick wanted to crush dreams, and his were dashed.
Now
my favorite. You can actually watch him die a little bit in his eyes. Do it again.
Yeah, do the replay. It's like The Simpsons all over again.
Trombone.
Yes.
So we do some topics on this show. Everybody else is talking about Justice League and and I don't want to do a review of Justice League because everybody's doing a review of Justice League. What I want to talk to somebody who knows the business, a producer who understands how everything works, and I want to get your insights on why WB still decides, after all of the success of what's going on and the good reviews, and finally fans saying, give it to Snyder, let him run with it, we'll watch. Why is WB still deciding, nah, we're good, we're just going to kind of go our own way? Why do you think that they sabotage their own franchise?
I don't know. It's always like, I don't understand the idea of, hey guys, I have a great idea. It's brand new and it's awesome. It's remaking something else we've done. It's just like, let's go and redo it. This is amazing, new and awesome. And it's like, but they do that purposely because you have to put certain things out after so many years or you lose the rights to it. Kind of like how Disney re-puts out like different anniversary out like ones. And I mean, honestly, I'm not the one to ask right now, only because I see the shit on TV and I'm like, and they turned my projects down, so I'm kind of a little bit out of shape about some of it, but I also understand it because certain projects of mine, like I know that we would have had to travel in different places that the coronavirus is still kind of ramped up and we're not even allowed in those countries. So fingers crossed we can still do it in the future, but I've just been bitter because I see like these stupid shows on there and I'm like, it's like pick the sex therapist. And it's like, one looks like a leprechaun. And it's like, which one's, and I'm like, and this is on prime time? Like
somehow that made it.
I don't know because people, honest to God, they get in, their high executive positions, especially no offense, but women, they come in and they are like, okay, I'm going to take over. And, a lot of people get on their high horse and they make terrible judgment calls because they don't even know the franchise. Like, honestly, I don't really know that whole franchise. I'm sorry.
That's fine. No, don't worry about that. You don't know that.
I just know how the behind the scenes stuff works. And, the people that have screwed me the most in the industry coming up so far are the people who didn't know what they were talking about. And, prime example is how I even got to become the production manager on 100 Acres of Hell, which is, I was hired as a publicist to do PR. And I just like to learn how things work. And my questions led to finding out this person who was supposed to be, know-it-all, in charge, have all the connections, and was like, screaming at me and embarrassing people on set. She was taking money. So it was like, and she wasn't doing like all the union stuff the right way. She wasn't even, so like we were getting fined and like all this other stuff that nobody even knew what was going on until I asked these questions. And then all of a sudden she left, she's gone. Nobody knows where to find her. Like you can't even look her up, like on social media or anything. So it's like, but if you get afraid of dealing with people like that, I was just new in the business. Like I said, I got hired to do PR and I'm like, listen, I know that I have no right to say any of this stuff, but like, I'm telling you, there's something not right. And like, I think that this is wrong. I think that this is wrong. And once they looked into it, it was like, holy geez, like, it was really wrong. It was a lot of money wrong. And so I don't know. It's just people's egos get in the way in Hollywood. Front of the house, back of the house. At the time, even in music, the roadies are the ones who get laid the most. Geez, everyone's got an ego. So
between egos and also fear, it sounds like a lot of fear with people just being absolutely afraid of being wrong or being shown up, and they just have to exert themselves in some sort of dick fashion.
Yeah, and like we're a team, and that's my biggest thing. I'm here to be a producer. You're here if you want to. You're here doing sound. You're the actor. I don't want to do what you're doing. I just want to make sure everybody's safe. Everybody's like doing the right thing. I've pulled almost $25 million in a 2-year period from projects because people were not, using the money the right way. And I got all of that money back to my investors through my, wonderful attorney and everything else. But then that's why people trust me to do more business because my first paycheck would have been almost $500,000 on the one thing. I've never seen a paycheck that big. And I had to pull that, but I like sleeping at night. Again, with the sleep, I mean, I'm still trying, but that's the thing is.
It's a good way to start. It's a good effort.
It's right. But I figured my career would be longer if I did the right thing than if I just had this one short moment. You know what I mean? So,
boy, Stacey, that sounds pretty radical. I don't know.
Well, that's why I'm on the show trying to dig my way back up because, but again, when you're in charge and you can kind of not control, but like have a team of people that you actually trust to do the right thing and have, somebody dealing with just the finances and someone dealing with just this and the permits and the insurance and everyone does what you're supposed to do, then it's like a well-oiled machine. I mean, it's nice to build that team.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when I was I didn't mean to cut you off, Casey, but I did. So sorry.
Just do it.
I love you, buddy. You know that.
Love you, buddy.
When I was producing, one of the biggest things, I was like, I'm a sham, man. My main goal producing is hire people who are great at their job and make me look good. Mm-hmm. I'll do my job. I can do mine, but I don't know how to do all the other stuff. So you guys do it, and I'll hire the best ones I can to do it.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's the difference between someone who's actually a leader and actually doing it right is usually by giving the power to the people who know what the hell they're doing.
That's right. And that's why I say too, like, I hate when people micromanage, like, listen, okay, you're the chemist, you do your job and then I'll just wait, for you at the end here. But I also like to give people opportunities because if it wasn't for other people giving me opportunities, but it's not even like, it's like you said, it does make you look good. But ultimately, I tell everybody it's just to make you look good because, I want to look back and be proud of you, and I love it. It just happened yesterday. One of my interns from like 15 years ago came into a meeting with me and it didn't go the way it started to go as planned, but he ended up turning it right around and then made all these other opportunities for me. And I got out of there and I'm like, where did you learn that? He's like, you. And I'm like, oh my God, like who, but it's like planting the seed and people being grateful for the opportunity. And then they bring you along with them, down the road as it goes. And that's all boats rise with the tide. And if people start to understand that, then everybody would be happier and be in a better place and be more successful.
Exactly. There'd be a lot more infighting or less infighting, and there'd be a lot fewer people, I think, bickering over bullshit. Yes. And that's a lot of what happens is, unfortunately, people get caught up in their own crap, and then they want to take it out and exert themselves in a way to try to be the big man on campus or big woman on campus, whichever, and they just wind up looking like assholes, and it puts themselves further down and hurts people, man. You're just hurting people. You're crushing people's dreams and souls, and what's the point? What are you walking away with? No.
Well, and that's, I was on top of the world almost 20 years ago, and I had the whole carpet ripped out from underneath me, and everybody turned their back on me. Like, you're a drug addict, you're a failure, you're never. And it's like people kicking you when you're down. Like, I've been there. And it's like, you finally have to have that attitude where it's like, when I get back up, you're effed. You know what I mean? Like, so, but
you're on the list.
Success has been the best revenge because nobody can take it away from you, and it's like, I need to be the example, like I said. And it's like, I know that people reach out to me and they were the ones who were kicking me while I was down, but at the end of the day, I'll be nice and I'll help it, or, get them a signed picture of whoever that they ask for their kids, or if they need tickets for something. If I can do it, I will. And 10 times out of 10, they'll be like, I'm really sorry for being like a jerk. And I'm like, dude, I forgave that a long time ago. You can't carry that shit around with you. It weighs you down.
Oh, yeah.
Tell them, be like, you forgive them. You just have to do it. So
you can still have your list at home. It's just on the wall. You just cross the name off. Be like, yep, gotcha.
I tell Casey and I have talked about this all the time. Like, and he knows as well. Like, some of the best human beings we know on the planet are alcoholics, are drug addicts, and they just have a problem. But they're still great people that we're having fun with.
Honestly, though, like the people at the bottom are the same people who are the people at the top because, the ones in the middle just point their fingers. And I always say finger pointing is an emoji. It's not what you do to people. But the people who have lost everything are the ones who hustle and like keep it up because they're like, everybody's just telling you no. So you got to keep doing better. But it is a tenacious thing. And I mean, not a lot of people get back to the top. So you got to respect it.
I mean, it may be silent, but revenge is a delightful motivating factor.
It's true. But honestly, like, coming down to the networking, when I was in college, I lost a grant that I was counting on for living because it was a 24/7 school. So we were always going. So I was living in my car for a long time, showering at the beach. And it's just, that was the life at that time for me. And I did it because I wanted to make it through school. But it was friends who were suffering just as bad who offered the couch or offered a floor or whatever. When I got out to LA and I had nowhere to go, it was, hey, stay on the floor. You're good as long as you need to be here. And those are the relationships I still have today that, you know, you want to kind of continue to go with, you know.
Of course, absolutely. And then it's like those are the people too that you want to bring along with you when you do have some kind of success, because they helped you a little bit. So why not help them?
Oh, absolutely. I reach out to them all the time. I'm like, hey, listen, come do my show, or, you know, I want to help build up your movie, you know, project that you're doing and things like that. It's so important.
Very cool.
But, I found that a lot with podcasting too. Not just filmmaking side. Like, I found so many great people that I've been able to connect with, and like even not just on the Scene Snobs, like people who, you know, just kind of like we shoot the shit and we network and we help each other out. They're always willing to extend a hand.
Well, they're the perfect example of all of us. I mean, you know, we have all kind of met through unfortunate circumstances, but we all decided to turn the negative into a positive and join, you know, up as a group and love each other and support each other. And, you know, and that goes for everybody else that's out there in the podcasting world, because I mean, you guys kind of are ruling the world right now. Ultimately, like, it's not like radio anymore. You know, you guys, the underground world is like really, really powerful. And I've really seen it in full force. And I mean, I thank you guys a lot too, because, and like Jason Taylor, the Three Geeks, all you guys, I mean, it's been absolutely amazing to have all of your support. And obviously I'd do anything to help you guys no matter what.
Well, all that matters is supporting each other. That's one of the biggest things that Mick and I have been through. Our life and friendship has always been, it's all about support. If you're not supporting each other and helping each other lift each other up, then what are you doing? You're wasting your time. You know, you're just sitting here jawing around for no reason. Just, you know, it's self-promotion, just whacking each other off with some giant Coke can or something. So it's pointless.
Hey, how'd you know I'm doing that?
Casey, I love you, buddy. Casey was actually, to kind of give him the accolades of that a little bit.
No accolades here.
Shut up, you. Shut up. When I moved, because I came down to Virginia, I was in like a job that it was just like destroying me. And I was like, all right, I'm out of here. I'm leaving. And I left New York City one day. I was in my suit. I drove down to Virginia, and Casey and I had been friends for a few years at this point, but my brothers lived down here, so I was coming to stay. Everybody was like, you should just quit and move down here. Casey was the one that put me up. Casey was like, come live with me. I had a job.
We had like a 6-hour-long conversation in my garage at the time, and we were like, let's just do this thing, man. Just do it.
Yep.
That's great. That's a friend. That's a friend.
Yes, and that's why, like, and then we you know, he had been doing podcasting, I had been doing podcasting separately, and then we just did it together, and then it kind of came into this, and like, I couldn't imagine doing this show with anybody else.
I feel like I'm your baby here in like this ancestry tree. After that,
I love it. It's perfect. It's wonderful.
It is.
Well, you're gonna be here, everybody. I don't know how, but it happened.
I am always, I always.
We
like
had a bunch of physics, laws of physics. We changed biology. You know, it's magic.
See, you're changing the world already.
This whole thing is just fucking magic. That's all we do.
All magic, all the time. It is the way it is. I got to tell you, one of our main topics I want to talk about tonight and kind of bring up to everybody was attractiveness in movies. And I feel like in recent years, the look of the leading man and the leading woman have changed quite a bit. Mm-hmm. And I want to get other people's feelings. Anybody who's watching in the, to chime in on this as well. But as a producer,
I'm sorry, I have to time out real quick. His Facebook user is right here.
Facebook user, okay,
yeah, 100%.
Sexy is too sexy to be Casey and Mick.
Yeah, totally.
Look at this face. I look like Seth Rogen, like took a shit.
Listen, you have the best eyebrows in the business, man.
Oh my God! Stop talking to Jason Taylor. Oh my God!
I still say it's the hair. That hair is magical, bro.
I have had this hairline since high school. I'm not saying it's a good one. It's not a good one, but it's a hairline at least. I would say that one. So attractiveness as we see with podcasting, is not important. But how important is it in movies nowadays, do you think? Do you think that a quirky-looking leading individual is better now than back in the day when it had to be almost gorgeous?
Oh, yeah. I think because of everything. Well, first of all, look at a lot of people. They force you to kind of fall in love with it. I mean, like Owen Wilson and his crooked nose, you know what I mean? Like normally on the street, people would be like, what the heck? Like this guy looks like, but then all of a sudden at the end of the movie, you're just like, damn it, I'm in love with him. You know? So it's something, I feel like they're trying to make, people more acceptable. They're hiring people who weigh a lot more. There are people they hire with Down syndrome and, all these different kinds of things, which I think is super cool. And I think that could be a change of perspective too. Of course, like big studios are capitalizing on that and just like not caring, but they just see money and an opportunity and then a chance to look like the hero. I just hate studios because I know how they work. And like, it's things like you watch the 25th anniversary of Predator, right? And the executive producer's on there, and he's like, I just got my first check last year. Like 24 years for you to get a residual, and you're the executive producer? I mean, it's like Pulp Fiction still hasn't made its money back yet for people to get paid. So, like, I just get ticked off at that kind of stuff. Sorry, it's sore subject.
No, please. That's the whole point. Fire away on sore subjects.
Please elaborate on that. I'd love to hear more. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, everything, like even like distribution companies and stuff. I have to watch what I say because I have some that are out there with certain distribution companies. But I mean, essentially, they fly all over the place to sell things, and then it's dinners and drinks. I mean, in the 80s and 90s, or well, 80s, I know for sure there was like lines in the budget for like hookers and blow. Like literally, it's like. So when you keep charging all of these things off to them, because like every 2 years you have to renegotiate like the Netflix deal, and so they have all these representatives going and then they're schmoozing and, having their conventions and all that. But their whole goal is to really not pay you because they're making money on all of this. And they don't, really disclose much. And looking at some of the records that I've been dealing with some of my films, it's like I ask for my quarterlies and I'm getting them. I'm like, these don't even make sense, like at all. And then like you ask questions and like nobody knows the answer or what they could tell you. And I mean, it's just like bullshit like that you just get frustrated at. So, I mean, I have a lot of things in the works to hopefully maybe, start to change things a little bit, but it's going to take, at least another year or two before.
Yeah, that seems completely outrageous to have money just floating around. Isn't that kind of important to be paying attention to your budgets? Call me crazy.
You do. But I mean, figure, big studios make a $200 million movie. It's not like you have to pay back $200 million. You pay $200 million plus like the 20 or 30% on top of that. And then before, like nobody makes money very quickly, even though things are big. It's just, it's frustrating, but figure the actors and all of that, they have to be paid, on time and at a specific thing, especially for the union, and they're paid up front. So like making residuals isn't a big deal to wait for them because they already got $4 million right up front. You know what I mean? So, but it doesn't always work for other people that are doing stuff, especially in independent stuff, because people are working just for points for free, and it sucks, but it's just the way it works. And it's like things have to change a little bit.
That's a great point too. And actually one funny story I was always told, the clothespins, we use them a lot when we're on set, especially for lighting and rigging. They're actually called C-47s. That's just like the code name for them. And for anybody watching, and the reason they're called C-47s from the lore, from what I've heard, was on the set of Cleopatra, the cocaine budget was bigger than the actual budget for the film. So every time they would write back to the studio and say, we need more money, they'd say, what for? They would say C-47s, meaning those. And that's how like they got their name.
And that much cocaine, you got a 4.5 hour long movie. So makes sense.
Yeah.
Scarface.
Seriously. And Blow.
Oh, Jesus. They actually, if it was Blow, it would be the actual Blow. That's what they got.
Back in the good old days, before like they started like lacing. That's why I was so glad I did do drugs when I did. I would never touch anything these days just because everything is laced or you have all these,
all the fentanyl nowadays. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and the laxatives and stuff like that too. So you're either gonna die or shit your pants. It's like
maybe both. What a terrible way to go.
Party time, Bug life. I'll tell you what.
Oh my God. Well, one thing actually, like to talk about, and I have questions about. You have been getting into the CBD game, correct?
Yes, absolutely. So I've been working with a bunch of the biggest CBD farms in the country, and we have like an ecosystem now in Antigua that we're expanding upon so that we can actually sell into other countries. We have deals with some other people going through for like over 120 countries. Then we also I'm supposed to be going and meeting up with like Mike Tyson's company to start expanding into the THC industry and some other people. So yeah, it kind of fell into my lap because of COVID, we couldn't film. And so it was just, I had some friends in the industry and like, I just was like, hey, let's see where it goes. And, the thing is now we can intertwine things. I'm going to be announcing shortly. We have a A-list celebrity makeup artist who's going to be, we've been, working with her, and she's starting her own line of CBD, like beauty products and tinctures and things like that. And that's going to be coming up in the next month. But I mean, she's, the person who does like Donnie Wahlberg on Blue Bloods, and, she's working on the Wu-Tang show right now for Hulu. And so she's a really big deal, and I'm really excited about that. So it's like I got to intertwine both of the things that I kind of love. THC and CBD has been a huge help to me with like depression, anxiety, sleep, stuff like that. I mean, obviously I don't go crazy, but it's been very calming for me. I do give my children CBD because they sometimes have anxiety. They're teenagers now. They're 16 and 14. And with high school and just even the COVID stuff, I mean, they're starting to, have to learn how to live differently. It was very stressful for them, especially because they're kids that like to be around other kids and, are very social. So, I mean, those kinds of things have been a huge help to me. So I figured, why not?
And let me ask and Casey, I know you do a lot of research into CBD and such too, and how it works. And I would love to hear, Casey's like a book nerd. He reads in the best possible way. I know that sounds
thanks,
bad.
Man.
Me too. Me too.
I have to know how things work. That's why, like Stacey, I get you 100%. Once I learn about something, I'm like, now what does this part do? And what does that part do? Yeah. And then how does this connect with that part?
That's how I find loopholes, and I figure out how to make things work, in the best way. And yeah, that's why I get paid now. It's like, you be smart. Okay.
Yeah, 100%. And that's why, like, so like when Casey and I will sit there and wax poetic, and he'll get me into it. And then I'm on a research kick, of course, forever, but like, he's a smart dude. He knows a lot of stuff. So I figure I'll ask you guys while I'm here. I don't know much about CBD. And for people out there listening or watching in the future, maybe can you guys explain it to me a little bit and how it works and what it does? Absolutely.
Let me hand this off to Stacey because she actually owns a CBD company. So we'll go ahead and let her handle it.
Well, okay, so it's a breakdown called cannabinol, okay? And inside your body, this is the coolest thing. You have an endocannabinoid system, right? So it's everything from your brain to your anxiety to your muscles to everything. And it like your kidneys, I mean, everything. It makes everything work. So about 2 years ago, I started using CBD in conjunction with THC, very, rarely, but usually just CBD. And all of a sudden my body just started kind of like, I started taking like 50 milligrams of the, full spectrum, I think it is, per day. And I just like over the first like 2 or 3 months, I just started noticing that I was feeling better. And after the last 2 years, I've lost 70 pounds and I haven't even really worked out at all. All my blood pressure went down. My thyroid, everything is like gone. Even the cyst on my ovaries, I was supposed to get a hysterectomy 2 years ago. And I might only have to take one out now, and if not, keep them both in, which is like huge.
Wow.
Because I've been dealing with that my whole life. So that aspect of things of where it really changed how my life actually was. And it made me just feel better. And especially during the COVID stuff, that was a huge testament to everything. Because I'm like, that's the times where things are going to get the worst. I mean, I was having anxiety. I mean, I couldn't work. I didn't know it was going to be next. And like, I have everybody calling me because we're responsible for other people's jobs and paychecks. And I mean, there's a lot of responsibility on you when you do take over in a position like that. And when you don't know what's going on, I mean, geez, the last one happened 100 years ago, and it's not like we have tweets to go back and look at, like, it's like,
look out for those, huh?
Died. That was Oregon Trail. It's like, well, so, I mean, I don't know. It's just, the thing is that when you look it up, it's already like a part of your system. And the other cool part is they have these, they're not new, but it's a different strain. It's called like Delta 8. They're legal. And what it is it's CBD, and it actually transforms itself in your liver into THC. So it's like, if it's not supposed to be in your body, how come your body magically like abracadabra
creates it, right? Yeah.
Without anything, with it. It's just, that's how it works. But ultimately I have people in my family and stuff like that have started using it just for pain, and it's helped a lot of people get off opioids and a lot of drugs. And so I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying it's something to use like a ton. Like, I'm not walking around and being like, yeah, man, and that's cool if you are. Like, that's totally cool if you are, but I just can't do that. But it's even just CBD alone, it doesn't give you any highs, and you just have to watch because some might still have like less than 0.3% THC in it, which is still legal. So you can still get popped, on your drug test for it. But there are some brands out there that have 0% THC in it. And so, but the gas station ones, like, careful, like, there's these like COA reports, they're called, that like are supposed to be on the bottles and things, like, to tell you exactly what's in it. But the gummies and all that kind of stuff, I mean, they work. I get them too sometimes because if I'm tired, I'll eat 2 or 3 of those gummies from the gas station and they put me out. So I don't care what's in it. But
I mean, my wife does her research on it too. And like, so it was for hers. I mean, she speaks highly of it. And I don't know if it's connected. I remember years ago, a friend of mine's father had lung cancer, and it was a bad turn, and he, they didn't think he was going to make it, and there was nothing they could do, and he started doing hemp oils, and and that was very early on, where people were kind of like, "What is that?" It's just like liquid weed, and he was doing it, and he lived another 6 or 7 years. Like, he came back, he looked good, the cancer came back, and that's what took him, but like, he went into remission, the whole nine. And I have friends who are addicts as well who got on the hemp oils early on, and that helped them too. And I hear that about CBD as well. So, I mean,
yeah, but figure with CBD, you can build a house, everything in a house, clothes, like they're putting it in, like hemp into concrete, and it's actually holding up more than concrete, like regular concrete. I mean, it's just ultimately adding to everything. You know what I mean? And I don't know. You can't fight those kinds of statistics. Yeah. And
I mean, it was one of the original cash crops back in the days that our nation was founded upon. So it's just one of those, pharmaceuticals got in charge, and they just got control, and they wanted rid of that. And plus, we were able to put a stigma on it and put down an entire group of people, for a good 100 years.
It's like, if it's the devil's lettuce, then how come it's made my life completely turn around as opposed to the prescription drugs, which ultimately made me a widow and almost killed me?
Yeah, it's amazing how that works, huh?
Isn't it crazy? I mean, yeah. I get the hippie stuff now, though, because when I do use THC, I'm like, I just want to sit and like listen to Bob Marley or Allman Brothers, and I'm just like sticking my hands in the air and dancing, and I'm just like, I'm not hurting anybody, like, I'm not out being a drunk or obnoxious or trying to drive. I mean, I just want to eat a fruit platter.
Yeah, I'm with you. I get stuck on like Midnight Rider, and all of a sudden I'm playing video games, and before I know it, I'm like, I should probably go to bed.
Yeah, right? And then you go to bed and you don't have a hangover when you wake up. It's amazing.
You can be functioning the first 3 hours of your life.
I have a feeling that the CBD train would make like the Scene Snobs way more profitable.
Yes, absolutely. Let me know if you want to start your own thing. We actually have, with the technology company I'm working with now, we do like Kourtney Kardashian's eye serum for her pooch line and certain things like that. But I know I've been talking to the owner, who's the chemist, and he allowed me to have this thing where if anybody wanted to try to have one product of their own, you just send me a message. And if you let me know what you want the product to be with CBD, and we have a special discounted price to do 100 bottles of whatever it is, and help you to be able to market it or do whatever you want to. And it's way cheap. But the thing is, I just can't tell you a price right now because it could be like an eye serum, it could be like a mint, it could be a pill, it could be a tincture, it could be lip balm, it could be whatever you want it to be. I don't care, because literally you could put CBD in anything and everything, and ultimately whatever. So
I think gummies would be amazing as long as we can get them to look like Mick's eyebrows.
Now, that deserves an extra discount.
I will tell you. So, Facebook user, I know you want to know Stacey's brand name, and we, of course, are going to support on the show here. So we will happily announce that once it's official.
Absolutely.
And make sure that you go and you buy, and hopefully we can get Stacey on back a lot more because she's just a lot of fun.
Yeah, you are a hoot, Stacey. This has been a blast.
Thank you so much. I love you guys.
No,
I'm going to steal you from the Three Geeks. I'm going to be like, come be on our show. Don't go to them.
Or we'll just show up on the Three Geeks.
Yeah, everybody on everybody's show. I love it. Support everyone.
I love Jason Taylor. I love all the Three Geeks, but I love Jason Taylor. He's amazing. And he loves it.
I love Max.
You love Max. Okay.
Yes, don't forget about Max. But he drank all the Rockabella vodka, apparently. So
yes, he did. He crushed it.
He really did go for it. And you know what? That's great stuff, too. Cheryl's doing great work with that. And she's a Jersey City girl, so that's a woman after my own heart. You can catch Stacey on a Better Show this Sunday. Oh, probably true.
Why would you not pre-read that one?
I don't know.
Fan Room Live with Paul White from AEW.
Yes, actually,
that's
tell us
awesome.
before you.
Entertainer's my boss now. Isn't that crazy?
It's so amazing.
I know.
And that's what I want to talk to you about that real quick before we go. Tell us a little bit about Fan Room Live, what it is, and tell us about the Paul White. We're going to put it in the description, the link. So
yeah, sure. And then, okay, so Cedric the Entertainer and my very good friend Jeff Krause, and Mitch Faulkner, they all got together during the pandemic and started this new platform. I believe YouTube kind of gave them the original platform. But essentially, it's celebrities that come on Zoom, and it's a virtual meet and greet. It's almost like a town hall style Q&A where everybody can hear everybody ask the questions, but you get put kind of like how we are right now, one-on-one on the screen, and you get 2 or 3 minutes to actually just speak directly to the celebrity and ask them whatever questions that you wanted. And then we have another opportunity where you can also be a VIP guest. And then after the show, everybody has to leave, and then you get 5 minutes at the end there, just one-on-one to talk about whatever you want for promos, for this, for that, whatever. And so it's really cool. And we have other celebrities that kind of pop in. So other, people, and everybody's kind of like one. It's like a Zoom call, but you get one-on-one. And I'm the co-host and the co-executive producer along with Jay Benjamin, who's out in LA. He's amazing, and he's like the most amazing co-host. I love him. And Cedric the Entertainer is, he's been amazing. We're doing one on Friday with the LA Dodgers. Chris Taylor and Cedric and Alex Ludwig are going to be doing the fundraising for a charity event. It's the after party with all of the Dodgers, and we're going to have some musical guests by some big names in country. And so you can still get tickets for that too on Fan Room Live if you want to be a part of it and actually just see it. Which I'm excited about. So it's I didn't get to go to the Grammys this year, but I feel like it's I get to be a part of, hosting a little bit of my own little Grammys with the Dodgers and all that. Yeah. And so, I mean, that's so cool, so we just have, I love people who are creative and just make something, again, out of something bad, something good. This is another example of it. And so we have a lot of guests coming on. We had Ice-T and Coco, Morgan Fairchild, Jake the Snake Roberts. We have a lot of big people coming up like Little Kim and, a lot of people I can't really announce yet, but so it's awesome. And I think that everybody should at least go onto the website, check it out, and see my picture underneath Cedric's and meet the team, because that is cool.
And we are going to have that in the description so everybody can go and check it out. I know one person who will be there Friday for the LA Dodgers. That's this guy right here.
Get the socks on there. Let's have some Boston Red Sox. Let me go get it.
All right. Hey, put it out there.
I love it though, and what you guys are doing is fantastic. Fan Room Live is fantastic. Stacey, you're amazing. I'm glad we became friends.
Me too.
You're doing just fantastic stuff. I can't wait to check out more in the world of CBD because I know it's going to help me. Just from everybody I've seen doing it and helping them. And also, now that I know I can go watch 100 Acres of Hell, I can talk about it on my horror show.
Yes, absolutely. We filmed a third of it at my actual house and my parents' property in the Poconos in Pennsylvania because we lost a location. So I'm like, hey, Dad, can we use so that's 30 of the 100 acres right there.
Yes, I love it.
That's awesome. That is fantastic.
Where can everybody find you online?
You could go to @Stacey Toy on Instagram, STACEY TOY. If you forget the E, then just go into my cousin, and I'm probably not going to get it for 6 months. Love her, but she's, older than me and doesn't understand. So, and then on Facebook, I'm Stacey Toy. LinkedIn, I'm @Stacey Toy, or, StaceyToy@gmail.com is my email, especially if anybody wants any, CBD has any interest in a CBD product for their own, just to at least get started. Because we do free, consultations, evaluations and stuff, and let you know how everything goes. But through me, you're going to get a super, super huge discount because I want everybody to try it and have their own little thing so they can be proud of it.
Well, you sold me on it for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
My wife's been trying to sell me on it for years, and now you did in one night, so she's going to be mad.
Yes.
I want to say thank you so much for coming on. We'll always have you on. You know that. And
thank you.
You are amazing.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for your story. I appreciate your story, and I know so many people need to hear that story, and it's great that it's going to be made into a movie that people can also understand that things aren't the end and a way to move forward and stay positive with it. So that's fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. And again, next time you come back, we're going to be able to talk the absurdity of some of the topics we go through because they're insane. But we love it. You are amazing. Thank you. Good luck on Jimmy Starr's show tomorrow with Ron Russell. They are fantastic. You know that. That's no secret to you, but everybody should be watching it. So until next time, we will talk to you soon, everybody. Thank you. Go check out scenesnobs.com. I am your host, Mick Manhattan, and of course, I'm joined as always with
the Madman Casey Plott. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Love you all. Be kind to each other.
Take care.
And that's our show, everybody. Thanks for listening. I am Mick Manhattan, the Scene Snob. We always appreciate you guys tuning in and commenting along and everything else. Go check out this show or any of our other shows on thescenesnobs.com. Thescenesnobs.com. We love you. You guys are awesome. And if you would like, follow and subscribe to our social media. That really helps us go a long way. And please spread the word. Tell your friends. Have them come in. We love feedback and everything else. So everybody, you have a great day. Again, thanks for listening. Thescenesnobs.com. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.